Precore Gold has just kicked off exploration at its flagship Arikepay Project in southern Peru following a recent site visit. The company is advancing exploration in what they say is one of Peru's most prolific mining regions. We're going to learn about this today with Paul Duma, executive chairman of the company.
Thank you very much.
So, Paul, I understand that Precore is quite a young company. Talk to us about how the company came together and also give us a brief on management's background as well.
Yeah, sure. The company is barely 10 months old. We took over the company in January of 2025. We acquired two great assets, one in Quebec called the Flagship Rush, and the other one was in Peru, Arequipa Project, Arikepay Project, sorry. And we put together a fantastic team with proven track record. Myself, I come from PwC. I worked there as an accountant, auditor, and then moved over to RBC Dominion Securities. And I have about 20 years in the investment industry, operating in the mining sector for the last 20 years. We managed to put together a great team that has a proven track record. Louis P, who is a geological engineer for over 30 years. He has over 15 years experience in Peru. He was the manager for Anglo American. Most recently, he was the VP exploration for O3 Mining. A lot of discoveries, a lot of capabilities in terms of development, project development within. Put also together a technical advisory team, an individual by the name of Jean Trotzy. He has 35 years experience in being a professional geologist, several discoveries of this belt, including the Shahuindo mine in Peru. So we have an extensive management team with proven track record, with two great assets that we acquired within the last six months.
Can you also break down what the focus is on Arikepay moving forward?
Yeah, the Arikepay Project, fantastic project. It's a project that's been mothballed for the last 9-10 years. It has historical drilling on it. It's had over 13,000 meters of drilling, two campaigns, an RC campaign, which was done in 2012, and a diamond drill hole campaign that was done in 2017. When we started looking at this project, it seemed to be very appealing. There was a gold content to it that was overlooked. You're looking at some historical drill holes, 420 meters at 0.91 grams per ton gold. And within that section, you have intervals of over 80 meters at over 3 grams per ton gold. So that really piqued our attention when we were looking at this asset. There's nothing has ever been done to this property since 2017. There hasn't been any follow-ups. And in the 13,000 meters of drilling, every drill collar returned a mineralization. And some of these drill collars are 300, 500 to a kilometer apart. So when you take a step back and start looking at the potential of this, it's on a great belt as well. There's a lot of there's a lot of upside in terms of infilling and adding a volume to the mineralized property. If you look at the location of Arequipa, fantastic. To the east of us, you have Cerro Verde, which is the largest copper producer in Peru right now. It's owned by Freeport McMoRan. If you look to the south east of us, there's a Tia Maria project that's owned by Southern Peru. Actually, they just got fully permitted for production in October of this year. The project is already 90% complete. They're guiding to produce by the end of 2026, early 2027. So they're guiding about 120,000 tons per year. So it makes the whole area fantastic for us because it brings in know-how. You need, acceptability from the community, which is fantastic. They have all the permits, so we don't see any issue in us getting or obtaining our permitting. The project has already been permitted twice. So we're moving forward with that. And just to keep in mind, it's a prolific belt there. And the property is surrounded by Southern Peru and Freeport McMoRan. Freeport McMoRan actually claimed to the east of us in April of this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about some near-term catalysts. What can investors expect out of Arikepay that will drive value here in the near term?
Well, we announced yesterday the launching of our brownfield exploration program. So there's a bit of work to do there, and leads up to our permitting for our land and drill program. We're going to do some community outreach there. We're going to do some geophysics as well, because the gold is associated with pyrite. And we're going to be doing a bit of the regrouping some of the access to the project, so it's helping some geos see access to the property. Our plan is to go into the property and do twin 1 or 2 holes and start doing the sub-step-outs. As I mentioned earlier before, the previous drill programs, the drill poles are spaced between 300, 500 and a kilometer apart. So there's a lot of room there that's untested. And we're really looking at the gold mineralization, trying to understand where that's coming from and where it's going. So we're going to do some high resolution downhole televiewing to understand structure of the mineralization, and hopefully kick off our drill program in Q1 of 2026. So if you're looking at the catalyst right now, we're going to have a tremendous amount of news flow for 2026 coming out following some of the results of our brownfield program, and then rolling into our drill program. And if you look at the, I mentioned earlier on, it's a young company, so we only have 31 million shares outstanding. So I don't know where if you look at the aspect of investing into a junior company, what junior company has management that has a proven track record, has 2 fantastic assets in tier 1 jurisdiction, surrounded by tier 1 producers, with only 31 million shares outstanding. So I think we're very well positioned for 2026. I think it's going to be a lot of news flow, and if you look, we looked at a lot of properties before acquiring the Arikepay Project, and you got to tick the boxes and eliminate as much risk as possible. And this asset, it's had 2 drill programs on it. For some reason, it was mothball. A lot of potential because of the historical results that are there. So we think we've had a lot of success for 2026.
We'll leave it there for now. Paul Duma, Executive Chairman of Precore Gold, is PRCG on the CSC. But of course, you can go to CEO.CA, search the same ticker symbol to add the company on your watch list. Thanks for watching.